Good morning, everyone. I'm ARIN Allagood. I'm the Director of HR and Administration at ARIN. As you see here, I have an outline of the myriad of responsibilities that our team handles. You can see here that we have a wide range of responsibilities. It keeps us quite busy. We wear a lot of different hats within the HR and admin team. And I'll be touching on several of these topics throughout my presentation today. So how do we tackle this wide variety of work? We have a really great team, and we have a very tenured team. First, Therese Simcox has been our executive assistant for almost 18 years. Therese supports our board of trustees, our advisory council, our ASO/AC, and our executive team for travel and administrative support. Next, we have Sarah Ba, who's been our administrative coordinator for almost 5 years. Sarah secures our employee travel. She acts as an HR administrator in terms of benefits, and she also acts as our facilities coordinator. Denise Alston has been our receptionist for almost 5 years as well. Denise does a wonderful job greeting our visitors, distributing our mail, and keeps the front part of our office running. So this next slide shows an outline of our accomplishments over the last year. As you might remember, Nate Davis, our previous Chief Operating Officer, and Kathy Hanley, our previous Executive Director of Government Affairs and Public Policy, both retired at the end of 2018. Both of these positions were filled in advance for cross-training purposes by Richard Jimerson and Anne Rochelle N.A., respectively. Both transitions have been successful, and Richard and Anne Rochelle are both actively working in their new roles, and I think Nate and Kathy are likely enjoying their long overdue retirement, so good for them. I'm jealous. Another item that we tackled in 2018 was our employee salary survey. This is a great opportunity for ARIN to examine our overall employee compensation structure and ensure that our staff is compensated both within the range of our demographics and their specific roles at ARIN. As you can imagine, the Washington, D.C. metro area job market is quite competitive, and this exercise is extremely beneficial for ARIN with regards to maintaining our excellent employee tenure that I think a lot of the other departments touched on already. And it also creates, excuse me, I lost my place as well. It also ensures that our overall compensation package is competitive when compared to the market. Also in 2018, we converted payroll platforms with our current provider, Paychex. Our old system was really suboptimal with regards to processing payroll and also employee timesheet entry. So our new system is much more user-friendly, much more robust, and my favorite part is that it's reduced our payroll processing time significantly. I'm not spending nearly as much time as I was processing payroll. We also conducted a series of management and leadership training in 2018. This was due to the results of an employee engagement survey that was associated with the Washington Post Top Workplaces listing. As you might remember, ARIN was listed at number 14 in the 2017 listing in the Washington Post. The data from the employee engagement survey was quite favorable because we made the list, but there were some areas noted for improvement, which sparked the need for us to enhance our management training at ARIN. As a result, we secured an outside consulting firm who helped us address the themes within the employee engagement survey. This included a Management 101 training session for both our directors and our managers, and we conducted a very detailed leadership assessment that was shared amongst that same group. This assessment has already served as a great tool for our team and has and will continue to further enhance our interactions company-wide. I was also pleased to assist the Advisory Council in securing public speaking training when they met in January of this year. And from what I understand, it was very well received from the AC. We actually used the same vendor from the management training that I just spoke about. And we may, in fact, consider doing this for our employees at some point in the near future. So now I'm going to go over some recent projects that are currently in progress. As I mentioned in the last report that I gave at the previous 2 ARIN meetings ago, the trustees of our 401k plan recently conducted a full review of our plan. And just for your information, our plan trustees are Richard Jimerson, Val Winkleman, and myself. As a result of this review, we issued a request for proposal, or an RFP, for a new 401k vendor who does administration, compliance, and record keeping for ARIN's 401k plan. Over the last 6 months, we worked really diligently to research and interview various 401k vendors. And I'm pleased to announce that ARIN has selected Principal Life Insurance Company for our 401k needs going forward. Principal is a well-known and trusted 401k provider that's been in the financial industry for over 100 years. So not only will we have access to their tremendous investment portfolio, their website platform is also much more interactive and has a lot of security features that we didn't have with our previous vendors, such as two-factor authentication. This transition will take place in July of this year. And we're looking forward to a successful transition for both our employees and their retirement needs. So you might have seen in my very first slide with our responsibilities, we manage the facility for ARIN, or our office space, which is kind of unusual for the HR and admin team to manage. And it's kind of an ongoing joke that whenever we come to the ARIN meeting, that something breaks. So I can report 2 things happened while we were here. Of course, because Sarah and I are both here at the meeting. So unfortunately, it's kind of the joys of homeownership. And when we were at the October meeting, we had a pipe leak in our kitchen, and it caused our damage to our floor as well as some drywall. We haven't gotten it fixed yet because it's actually covered by insurance, which is great news. So we'll be getting that repaired over the next month. So never a dull moment, just like owning a home. So. All right. I'm going to move into some employee statistics, which is always kind of a fun slide to go through. Fully staffed, ARIN is at 78 employees. And as I mentioned earlier, we do have quite a remarkable employee tenure that was pointed out earlier by some of the other directors. Our average tenure is over 8 years. Last year it was 7 years, so it's improving every year. And I usually show a graphic that you see here on the right that highlights the remarkable employee tenure that we do have. And as you can see, I actually had to add a category for 20 plus years because we do have 2 employees who have been with ARIN for 21 years. So that's quite an accomplishment. And then if you add up those numbers from the 5 to 20 years, over half of ARIN staff have been with ARIN for 5 years or more. But then at the same time, we've been able to be successful in drawing new talent to the organization in that 0 to 5 year category. Okay, so what's next for our team? As we move into 2019 and 2020, as I mentioned earlier, we conducted our salary survey in 2018, and we typically like to do the salary survey every other year. So our next engagement will be planned for 2020. Then we will continue the work related to the 401k transition that I mentioned earlier, and that will be completed in July. And then we have in our plans later for this year to evaluate our travel needs and potentially research a new travel agency. We're still in the very beginning phases of this process, but we think it's a good time to evaluate whether or not we want to make a switch or not, and then analyze maybe how to cut some costs and things like that. Next, we will be revisiting our current value statements that are tied to our employee performance reviews or discussions. Back in 2014, we created these value statements as a company initiative where our employees actually participated in the process of developing the value statements. And since it's been a few years since they were originally developed, we're going to sit down and probably go through those as a company and make any changes and adjustments and then tie them back to our performance discussions. And last, we have some training initiatives planned for 2019 and into 2020. This will include a continuation of the management project that I was talking about earlier, the management training series, as well as conducting company-wide harassment prevention training at some point soon. And then we're also going to do some relevant training related to our intranet site called Confluence. We just did an update with the site, and I'll be working with engineering on doing some training, hopefully where we bring someone in and update our employees on that tool. And of course, we're looking forward to another successful year. Anybody have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.